Hi, welcome to That's Ready Mysterious, the show where every bite-sized mystery is rooted in reality. I'm your host, Kelly with an I, leading you through a maze of short stories that are filled with perplexing true mysteries. From missing people to unsolved crimes to eerie coincidences, each episode invites you to step into the unknown and question the ordinary. These tales aren't from fiction, they're stories history hasn't solved. Whether you seek suspense, love curious facts, or are just drawn to stories that linger in your mind, That's Ready Mysterious is your weekly passport into the truly strange, baffling, and unforgettable. Tune in and let the mysteries begin. Transcripts and references for all episodes can be found at that'sreadymysterious.wordpress.com. No apostrophe and no exclamation point. Today's tale is about Captain Kidd's treasure. An agent in the port of Karwar, India in August and September of 1697 described Captain Kidd as a very lusty man fighting with his men on any occasion, often calling for his pistols and threatening anyone that durst speaking anything contrary to his mind to knock out their brains, causing them to dread him. William Kidd was born around 1645 in Greenock, Renfrew, Scotland. He was the son of a Presbyterian minister. He died on May 23, 1701. Sometime before his death, it's said that Kidd buried a vast treasure somewhere, even though he supposedly only captured one major prize ship. But where is that treasure? William Kidd was a pirate hunter who became a pirate, although some historians argue he was not a pirate at all. They say he was a wronged privateer who thought he had the authority given to him by the government to attack foreign ships. It's believed that Kidd set out to sea as a youth. He was a buccaneer and captain for a private British ship from the Caribbean. His early career is not well known. After 1689, he was sailing as a legitimate privateer for England against the French in the West Indies and off the coast of North America. During his tenure, he attacked some smaller ships that weren't legitimate targets. As captain of the Blessed William, he went after French ships during the 9 Years' War. In December of 1689, Kidd attacked Marie Galante, one of the Guadeloupe Islands. In an act of piracy, in February 1690, Kidd's crew took the Blessed William from him while Kidd was ashore. Also in that year, Kidd was an established sea captain and ship owner in New York City, where he owned property. Kidd took command of the ship Antigua and followed the Blessed William to New York in 1691. Due to being established in New York City, Kidd was sent out at different times by both New York and Massachusetts to get rid of enemy privateers. In May of 1691, Kidd married a wealthy widow, Sarah Ort, who had 2 daughters with him, and he probably made his money living as a merchant who dabbled in piracy a little bit. In 1695, Kidd received a royal commission from London to capture pirates who attacked and plundered ships of the East Indies Company in the Red Sea and Indian Ocean. Kidd took the helm of the Adventure Galley in 1695. He set sail from Deptford, London, England on February 27, 1696. He went to Plymouth and reached New York City on July 4th to get more men. In September of 1696, Kidd crossed the Atlantic Ocean again in the Adventure Galley to the Cape of Good Hope, sailed around it, and into the Indian Ocean. By February of 1697, Kidd arrived at the Comoro Islands off the coast of East Africa. It's believed that this is where Kidd decided to become a pirate after failing to capture a prize ship. Kidd started attacking legitimate merchant ships from various countries, including Dutch, British, and Portuguese ships. The easiest ships to take were pilgrim ships sailing from India to Mecca. In August of 1697, Kidd unsuccessfully attacked ships sailing with mocha coffee from Yemen. He later captured some smaller ships. In October of 1697, Kidd refused to attack a Dutch ship, almost bringing his crew to mutiny. In a heated argument, Kidd mortally wounded his gunner, William Moore, supposedly killing him with a wooden bucket. In November of 1697, Kidd attacked and captured the Rapparel, a Dutch ship which was carrying a French pass and flag. Kidd left his crew on the Adventure Galley and sailed the Rapparel himself, renaming the ship November. On January 30th, 1698, Kidd captured his most prized ship, the Quiddock Merchant, which was an Armenian ship and was the reason for his eventual trial and hanging. It was under lease to the Indian government but carried a pass from the French East India Company. The Quiddock Merchant was Kidd's most famous capture. It was a 400-ton or 440 U.S. ton ship. The Quiddock Merchant was carrying silver, silk, gold, sugar, opium, cloth, calico, and iron, with the cargo being owned by an Indian noble named Machlis Khan. Some of the cargo was sold for around 10,000 pounds, which would have been worth about 2.5 million pounds, or about 3.4 million US dollars as of 2021. Kidd renamed the Quiddock Merchant Adventure Prize. In the spring of 1698, Kidd attacked a Portuguese ship and then unsuccessfully 2 East India Company ships. Then, on St. Mary's Island, Kidd swore his loyalty to the pirate Robert Culliford. In order to fulfill his commission, Kidd should have taken Culliford prisoner. By this time, the Adventure Galley was in bad shape. The beams were rotted. Kidd's crew left him to join another pirate captain. In April 1699, Kidd reached Anguilla in the West Indies. He found out that he'd been condemned as a pirate, but there was a general pardon for pirates issued, so he thought he'd be safe. Kidd left the Adventure Prize at Hispaniola. Adventure Prize was probably scuttled, but it definitely disappeared along with all of Kidd's stolen booty. Kidd sailed in a newly bought ship, the San Antonio, to New York City. There, Kidd tried to convince the Earl of Belmont, the colonial governor of New York, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire, that he was innocent of piracy. However, in July of 1699, Kidd was arrested for piracy in Boston, Massachusetts. The governor had promised him clemency, but didn't follow through with that promise. The Earl of Belmont sent Kidd to England to stand trial in April of 1700. Kidd was sent to Newgate Prison in London, England, and stayed there for almost a year before his hanging was decided. Kidd claimed he was innocent, saying that his crew forced him to take the smaller ships and the attacks on the bigger ships were done in good faith, considering the flags that they flew, and he claimed that he killed Moore accidentally. Kidd was found guilty of the murder of his gunner Moore and of 5 counts of piracy in May of 1701. Some important evidence about 2 of the piracy cases was suppressed at trial. Kidd's guilt was partially determined based on the testimonies of 2 of his crew, who were given full pardons. Some people wondered if the evidence that was provided was actually enough to convict Kidd. He was most likely convicted because of bad luck, bad timing, and being abandoned by English authorities who supported his original mission. The jewels found at the Adventure Prize were worth about 30,000 pounds at the time. In 2015, they would have been worth about 10 million pounds, or 15.6 million US dollars. The rest of Kidd's treasure has never been found. Some believe that Kidd buried his treasure before returning to Boston in 1699. Some possible locations have been identified as New Jersey, Long Island, New York, and Gardiner's Island, New York. During his trial, Kidd was forced to document all of his loot in a list that still exists today, but some believe he left some of the booty out of the list and that there is more treasure buried somewhere. On May 23, 1701, at Kidd's execution in Wapping Old Stairs, London, the hangman's rope broke and Kidd fell to the ground, still very alive. The chaplain said his prayers again, and Kidd was hanged a second time. This time the rope held. Captain William Kidd's body was tarred and hung in a cage at Tilbury Point at the mouth of the River Thames. His body was left to rot there for 20 years as a warning to others who may desire to become pirates. His hanging, however, did not deter pirates. Instead, it made them more determined to fight to the death instead of being taken alive. After his death, Kidd was the victim of character assassinations in fictional works. His career was greatly exaggerated. Captain Kidd's Farewell was a popular ballad which spoke of terrible things that Kidd may or may not have done. General history of the robberies and murder of the most notorious pirates was compiled in the 1720s and was credited to Captain Charles Johnson, which may have been a pseudonym of Daniel Defoe and made Kidd notorious. In the 1830s, there was a musical play about Kidd which was popular for years in both Boston and New York. Hollywood has also made movies about him. Some of Kidd's treasure was recovered from Gardiner's Island off Long Island, New York. The proceeds of his recovered treasure and things taken off the San Antonio were donated to charity. In 1999, the Adventure Gallery was explored. No treasure was found. However, in 2015, a buried treasure was found in Madagascar which may have belonged to Kidd. In a joint UK-US archaeological research mission, a 55-kilogram or 121-pound bar of silver was found in the shallow waters off St. Marie Island. The team was led by Barry Clifford, an underwater investigator. He had found the remains of some of Kidd's ship, the Adventure Galley, which contained a silver bar, metal oarlock, pieces of Ming porcelain, and a bottle of rum which was 300 years old. The president of Madagascar at the time posted a message on Twitter in French that said that a shipwreck had been discovered with treasure. He said that the silver bar might be a part of treasure from this ship. The silver bar has a T and an S in addition to smaller carvings imprinted on the front. In a symbolic gesture, British and US diplomats presented the bar to the president of Madagascar. It has been under guard since its discovery. What happened to Captain William Kidd's treasure? Did he bury it all, or did it go down with one of his ships which was scuttled? What do you think? Thank you for joining me on our adventure through today's mystery. The stories that That's Ready Mysterious covers are often stranger than fiction. If you enjoyed today's tale, subscribe to make sure you never miss a story that challenges the ordinary and reveals the mysterious. Until next time, keep questioning and remember the world is full of mysteries yet to be explored.